So there's no comparison. He told them more or less. So I'd reveal 1/24th difference in land. It's not important. Yes, but more than that, the chazil it's through but you could use it to add it to another piece of land, which makes halachic significance. Because a piece of land of Tisha Kabin Avalei Ara Chashivusa Bapinav Shavadra, it would be an important piece of land by itself. Okay, so there's no raya to Ravuna. Toshma. We have something called oino. Something gets sold, and we know what the value of this is. If what was paid versus its value is pachas mishisus is less than a sixth different, nikneh mekach, it's a good sale, and the guy is moichel the oino. Yoiser mishisus, if it's the difference in the price to the value was more than a sixth, batel mekach. You give your money back and you give the item back to the seller. What if it's exactly shisus? Kana umachzer aina. The guy who bought it gets to keep it, but the seller has to return the price differential. So amai lahadar ad pachas mishus. Why not go down from shisus to a little bit pachas mishus, maybe a few pennies? Because we just said if it's less than a sixth, the guy is moichelin. So obviously we're like Rav Huna. Shmamina kolecha de boy laduri kulamad. We go down to zero. Again, the Gemara says Achiyash is no comparison. Hasam by oino meikar shava b'shava amerlei. When you go in, you thought you were purchasing at the right price, but miu pachos mishasus lo yediyah b'mana. When, compared to $100, that less than a six, it's not recognizable. Umechalinish. And the difference is so minute, the person is moichel. Shesus, yediyah v'lo mechli. He can recognize it, and he's not moichel. Yes, Mishas is complete, mekach tos, ubotel mekach. But finding a roiva akav of psoilas in barrels, in bushels of wheat, everybody knows that there's some psoilas there. So you makabel this from the beginning. So there's no riot to Rav Huna. Toshma. Hamikabel sadam chavero lita. A person accepts to work a field, and he's going to plant there, and he's going to get paid. Hareza makabel olav eser burius lemeya. The guy who's contracting for this work, he understands 10 out of 100 trees are not going to grow fruit. If it's more than 10 trees, Magagin Alevis Akol. So he has to replant all 11 or 12 that didn't grow. It seems again like we're back to Rav Huna. We return everything. On Rav Huna, Brady Vishur Kol Yosser Mikain Kabolitel Metchiladam. If it's more than 10 out of 100, it's as if the whole field wasn't planted initially correctly. And therefore you have to replant those 11 or 12. Less than 10, it's not considered that it was not considered a complete field. So he could be moichel that. By mechira, when there's more than a roiva tinofis l'saw, it's not that important to him. Okay. Martev shel yain. Then we said, if you're buying a wine cellar, 10 barrels out of this martev, it's 10 out of 100. Could be vinegar. So heichi dami, ida omerle martev shel yayin stam. If you say, I'm selling you a cellar of wine, kasha. Ida omerle martev zeh shel yayin, also kasha. Ida omerle martev zeh kasha. Why? The Tanya. Martev shel yayin ani moichel lecha. Person says, I'm selling you this wine, seller of wine. Nois lo yayin shekula yofi. It's all got to be good wine. If he says Martev zeh shel yayin ani moichel lecha, nois lo yayin animker b'chanus. Some of the wine could be vinegar, like what happens in a market. Martev zeh, you don't say the word yain at all. Martev zeh ani moichel lecha. Afilu kulacha mitzigiu. Even if it's all vinegar, the sale is good. So what's our case of our Mishnah? La'olam davar martev shel yayin stam. That's all you said. Martev shel yayin. V'tani bereisha de beraisa. Why did our beraisa say that in that case you have to give good wine? U'mekabel of eser koises lemeya. No, you have to add. You accept 10 out of the 100 could be vinegar. Is that true? Bistami mekabel? If you sell wine to your friend, it's not going to be 100% good wine. Shiny chavis the kulachad chamra. In a barrel, it's all wine. It's not some wine, some vinegar. In that case, it was noisim lo yain shekuli. I got to give good wine. When you added zeh, martev zeh shel yain moicha, noisim lo yain shekuli yofa, but makabel of ezer koitzos mea. So it's only when you add zeh that you accept 10%. That's what it meant by a martev in our Mishnah, not the way we just set it up before, martev shel yain stam. Ella, we go back. Masnisin nami, the amalei zeh. You know why our Mishnah says you accept 10% vinegar? Because you said zeh. So kasha, what we said before by martev zeh, a zeh, which is the different baraisa, which is, one said you can give him wine that you sell in the market, even if it's all vinegar. And according to Razvid, it's only 10%. Like kasha, hada amalei lemakfe. Why do you need the wine? If the guy said, I need wine for cooking, so then it's got to be, none of it could be vinegar. If he didn't say for cooking, then, if you had some vinegar in it, it was okay. Rav Zvid, who accepts 10% of vinegar, is the Amalei Makfe. And that way you have to give good wine. Because he requested Makfe, which is Meshubach. And Baraisa, where he said it's okay that some of it is vinegar, the Amalei Makfe. Hilkach, according to Rav Zvid, it works out like this. If he says Martev Shel Yayin, I'm selling you a Martev Shel Yayin, v'Amar lo l'makfei, and he also said I'm buying it for cooking purposes. Nois lo yayin shekula yofe. You can't, the buyer doesn't have to accept any vinegar. Martev zeh shel yayin, v'Amar lo l'makfei, also nois lo yayin shekula yofe, because once you say makfei, you can't have vinegar, even if it said zeh. No, I'm mistaken. In the second case where he said zeh, you can accept mekabel of eser koisus lameya. The zeh reduced it from 100% pure wine to 90%. If he says martev zeh shel yayin v'lo amalei lemakfe, so noisin lo yayin nimker b'chanus, where all of the wine could have partially changed into vinegar, and maybe even all of it into vinegar. Okay, so the Gemara is going to ask a theoretical question. Iboilahu. Martev shel yayin, you didn't say zeh. And v'lo amar lo l'makfei, you didn't specify that it's for cooking. My. Is there a 10%? Because he didn't say it's for makfei. Or if it's martev shel yayin, he needs 100% good wine. So on this question, pliki b'ravacha ravina. Chadaber makabel, he does accept 10% vinegar. Chadaber lo makabel. Now what's the svara? Man damer makabel. Daik mid Rav Zvid, Tiktoni. He was medaik from what Rav Zvid. What did Rav Zvid learn? Martev shel yayin anymore. 100% wine. V'ukimna, How did we establish that price? The Amar Leila Makfik for cooking. Time ad Amar Leila Makfik. Haim lo Amar Leila Makfik Makabel Eser. You get 10%. Uman the Amar de lo Makabel, the one who says he does not accept the 10%, is Daik Me'abarais a different price. Ditani. Marta Shaliani Morchelach. I'm selling you a seller of wine. Noisel Yain Shekulu Yofa. Lukimna. The low Amar Lamakfin. We set that price up that it's not, he didn't necessarily mention cooking. Ulamanda Daik Midrav Zvid Kasha, that Barisa, because without makfe, you could accept even more vinegar. So the more answers, they're missing words in that Barisa. The Barisa says, Martiv Shalyani Moichelacha Noisel Yain Shekulu Yofa Bamet Varmum He qualified. He says, I need it for cooking. 10%. But Martiv Zeshel Yain, which is completely vinegar. Ulamanda Daik Me'abraisa also Kasha Meravzvid. Do Kim Nish Amrle Lamakfe. Ravzvid is one who said that price is talking about Lamakfe, cooking. Haim Lomel Lamakfe Makabel 10%. Who did that for Gav the Lomer Lamakfe Gamkin Lomakfe? And according to this version of Razvid, even if he didn't say it's for cooking, he doesn't accept the 10%. I do kim mishum the kasha zeh from the different baraisa, but really, according to Razvid, he would not be makabel any of it. Okay, we're going to start a new sugya tomorrow. We'll stop here. About what bracha to make on this type of.
Right, shkoyach.
So mincha is 3 minutes.
I got it.
But we learned 2 blot today, so normally it's not a problem. Tomorrow